Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. I'm Shadows Rain. Today I'm going to be telling you what the top 11 off-meta weapons are right now in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now this list will be based on Warzone variants, so stuff that in here might not necessarily work in multiplayer. Some of it will, some of it won't, but I'll let you know as we go down the list which will and which won't. So with that being said, if you do enjoy this video, make sure you hit that like button, and if this video does get 20 likes, I will make another video like this within the week. So, let's get right into it. Starting off at number 11, we have the SA-87. The SA-87 is a fantastic little LMG. It needs a little bit of kit and a little bit of love in terms of recoil, but once you've got it where you need it to be, it punches, it's got a little bit of mobility. It's basically a heavy AR that does LMG damage with LMG range. Really good choice. It's a really good pick there if you're using an SMG and AR ammo class. With that, it's going to basically give you the options of having a really long range class and of course having your submachine gun to fill in that middle gap where it would be weak. Speaking of submachine guns, you could pair that with number 10, a 4.1AE Uzi. Now, this variant of the Uzi gives you a lot of extra range. It covers that mid-range really well, holds its damage really well, and it also just absolute whips people. It is a 32-round mag, which is a little bit of a downside, but you will be dropping people quick, and it will be a good choice for you. It's a much better than the original variant. Anyone who tells you it isn't doesn't know what they're talking about. Sorry if that is you, but it's just the 4.1AE is so much better. Number 9 on the list is another LMG, and it's going to be the PKM. Now, you do need a couple of attachments on this to make it such. For example, the snatch grip is an absolute necessity, and the tack laser, I would argue, is an absolute necessity. What that's going to give you to do, allow you to do, is going to give you a lot of aim down sight speed. When you use these attachments, you'll have decent ADS speed. You can use that with a submachine gun, you can use that with a shotgun, even a smaller AR, but that is how I would be running this gun, with those attachments on, and it will punch, and it's got really good recoil control as well with those attachments, especially when you put the long barrel on there. It's really controllable. Next on the list is going to be the AK-47 SMG ammo. Now, the reason I'm putting that in there is because it's a really powerful class. And by really powerful class, I mean anything that's in with like close to medium range. You're going to absolutely destroy it. Barely any recoil, drops people super quick, and it's super fun to use an AK-47. So if you're looking for an AK-47 build which actually works, and you don't want the slowness of the normal one or the recoil of the normal one, that is one that you need to be considering because it is a really good choice. After that, we're going to be using the Model 680 Dragon's Breath rounds. Now, I know that people might argue that the Origin weapons and the R9 weapons should be inside this list, but I'm actually going to go as far to call them meta now, so that's why they're not going to be on this list. So if you want an off-meta shotgun, this is a good choice. When you aim down sight, you're making your pellet spread from something like this to something like this. It becomes an absolute beam cannon, and I really enjoy using this gun, especially with the Dragon's Breath rounds. You can drop a lot of people at close range in one shot, and if you do need more than one, it's often just a second unless you're at a really far range. So with all that being said, let's move on to the next one. So we're going to go for a marksman rifle now, and we're going to go for the M67 AMAX. This is the 10 ammo mag variant of the CR56, and this is basically a marksman rifle that uses assault rifle ammo. Now, it's not ideal only having 10 rounds, it's not quite as strong as an EBR, it's not quite as fast as an SKS, but it is a good little middle ground there. You can drop someone in 3 headshots, which is really canny, but it's a really good pick if you don't want to be using that sniper ammo, and it also allows you to pick up sniper ammo and hold on to an extra 40 in reserve for the rest of your team as well, and that's very handy. Although I must admit, I do use this as a double AR ammo setup, so I'll very rarely use the submachine gun with that, and if I do, it's usually the assault rifle AUG, but yeah, with this one, it's up to you. I like to use another assault rifle with it and then just put a shotgun underbarrel on it. That covers all my ranges, but I really do enjoy the M67 AMAX. Fifth is the Oden. The Oden is a really strong weapon. It's going to be punching. It's going to be punching people hard. So this is from most ranges as well. So if you don't know what the Oden is, it's basically just, well, it's Oden. It's Oden of the assault rifles, and 2 hits to kill anyone on multiplayer. and then it's going to be taking... You can drop someone in about 5 hits with this if you get a headshot or 2 in there. It's a really, really, really strong weapon. And you can also use it a lot of range. So what you can also do is you can stick it on semi-auto mode and just start single firing it at people at really long range. And you'll be still doing a lot of damage. You'll be doing about 30 damage, which might not sound like much, but it is still quite a bit. And when you're putting all that damage into someone, your snipers are going to have a really easy time just plucking them off. Likewise, if your snipers are getting good clean hits in, usually it'll only take 1 or 2 hits with this at range just to finish the job. Really good as well for confirming kills at range. So if you've got a sniper on your team who's down someone, you can just let them worry about the other target. You say, right, I'll finish him for you, and pick him off with usually 2 bullets. Really, really, really strong weapon of choice there. And it can also be used in that medium range really well. That rate of fire, it's not excellent, but it's enough to absolutely tear through teams. If you're looking for something a bit different and want to use something at range with your SMG or your shotgun, use an Oden. It is so, so strong. Next, we're going to move on to number 4. Fourth in this list is going to be the EBR. Now, I would have loved to have put this first, but I just can't see it happening. Now, the reason it's 4th is because it's really strong, it's really good, does use that sniper ammo, which is a massive disadvantage, but you can 2-tap people to the head. You can 2-tap people to the head with this weapon, and that is absolute insanity. If they have taken a little bit of damage from any other source, you will 1-tap them with a headshot. That's mental. Now, don't forget that this also does about 60 damage, so even if you don't hit the heads, you're still pumping out a lot of damage, and this can actually be used as a mid-range assault rifle-like weapon if you're happy to burn munition boxes for days. Very strong, like the SKS. Of course, the SKS is probably the meta marksman rifle right now. People are using a marksman rifle. That's why the SKS isn't in this list, but the EBR certainly isn't seen very often, and when it is, it's usually in the hands of someone who knows how to use it, because when you know how to use it, this is a really, really powerful pick. So get that used, get some headshots, get some kills, and absolutely love your life. Third is another marksman rifle, but it's not the Kar 98. Sorry, I don't like it. I think if there was a 15th place, a 16th place, a 20th place, it would be up there. I'm not a big fan. Other guns do everything better at every range. I mean, even trying to snipe with this sniper rifle with the scope on, it's just no good for me. You've got to be hitting the heads. And you're like, oh, well, if you get used to the bullet drop, you get used to this, you get used to that. Why get used to something when I can just pick up a HTR at range and absolutely just beam someone in one shot? Why use it at close range when I can just use the crossbow at that range and drop someone and kill them with one shot? That's what we're talking about now, the crossbow. It is absolutely mental. Now, of course, this is the ultimate high skill, high reward weapon. But if you can land a kill shot on there, you will kill them with the explosion if you use the explosive tip. So if they have a little bit of damage taken, or you can land a headshot or whatever, or a good chest shot, they will drop. They will just outright drop. And then the explosion afterwards will kill them. So you can drop them and send them to the gulag with one shot. And that is mental. Number 2, it's going to be a bit of a cheat here, but it's going to be a general one. It's going to be underbarrels. Underbarrels are really strong in this game, and I don't know why people aren't using them. Like, they're so strong. Like, even the underbarrel shotgun, really strong choice. You've got the concussive grenades, really strong choice. You've got the recon, which is my personal favorite, because you can just recon everyone, and you can just find out where they are indefinitely. You can have a barrage of stuns, which you can blast at people, a barrage of flashes to blast at people. You can basically, as many rockets as you can carry stuff for the underbarrel, because that's what it uses. The underbarrel uses rockets. So if you have 7, guess what? You've got 7 recon stuns, actual grenade launchers, which are still actually quite strong. Like, they're not like super strong, but they are quite strong, especially if someone's hiding in a little ditch. You can just fire that thing and fire that thing and fire that thing, and they will eventually drop. And you can fire it quicker than they can heal, so bear that in mind. After that, you've also got the underbarrel shotgun as well, which I previously mentioned. But you know, it's just really good to have. Underbarrels are so underrated. If you're using an assault rifle like an M13, or maybe it's arguably an M4, which doesn't need that much recoil, pop an underbarrel on it. Even a Grau, pop an underbarrel on it. It's going to be a really good choice for you. Does make you a bit slower, but that is the fair trade-off, I guess, in that scenario. But if you've got an SMG to run with it, just gun for it, you know what I mean? Just absolutely go for it. So now we are going to move on to number 1. And any long-term subscribers of this channel knows what it's going to be. It is going to be the Socom Rounds for the M4A1. If you use this thing on solos or duos, you are going to be absolutely slapping people off the map. You compare that with a shotgun, or you compare that with a submachine gun, and you're going to be laughing for days. Purely because you've got the semi-automatic marksman rifle inbuilt to it, or you've got the normal full auto, which is just going to absolutely massacre people. With the foul nerf at the start of Season 5, this is going to be the quickest time to kill, excluding anything that does headshots or explosive damage. So get that used. It is so strong in solos and duos. If you're not using it, why not? Are you scared? Are you scared of, genuinely, are you scared of having a weapon which is high risk, high reward? Sorry to break it to you, but that's how you improve the game, by putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. One thing to bear in mind though, if you're sat there thinking, right, cool, I'm going to rock Socom with an underbarrel, you will lose that marksman rifle potential, kind of. It just means you can't put it in semi-auto mode, because when you press the button to basically put it into semi-auto mode, that would then access the launcher. So just make sure that you're using one or the other, unless you're happy just to tap fire for your semi-automatic mode, in which case, fine, no worries. But with that all being said, that is my top 11 off-meta weapon list. Remember, if this video gets 20 likes, I will create another list like this within the week. And make sure you're subscribed to the A1A Shadows Reign YouTube channel. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.